Yeah. There are times when I feel inadequate. I don't know about you, Anthony, but it's a very sort of a diffuse, not a real specific feeling, because that's what I feel like the SEC. What is inadequate? BlackRock and Fidelity don't know how to do an application for a spot. What about it is inadequate, Pomp? And would they rather have FTX and Binance and all these other exchanges involved instead of something as simple as the underlying asset itself in a spot ETF? They just don't like Bitcoin. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I think we have to separate out kind of the historical trends and kind of conversation from this specific issue. And so really what the SEC is saying here is, hey, all of you put forward these applications. There's a specific detail around a surveillance sharing agreement that's unclear. Who are you going to be working with? So you say in the application you're working with someone. Who is it? And so they're not rejecting the applications. They're not saying, hey, these are not going to get approved. What they're simply saying is give us the full information. We want to understand it. And so already we've seen CBOE go ahead and refile clarifying that those surveillance sharing agreements will be with Coinbase. My expectation is that we'll see NASDAQ and the BlackRock ETF do the exact same thing early this week. And so really this is a lot of hoopla and a lot of conversation. But at the end of the day, I think it's a very small detail that probably is much more a formality than anything else. And it leads to, look, Bitcoin is up 85% to start the year. It's the best performing asset in kind of the first half of the year. And I think that what we're watching is Wall Street saying we want access to this thing, and they're knocking on the door now. And so the SEC is going to have to make some decisions as to which applications they want to approve and how they're going to allow them to go ahead and get exposure.
What I found interesting about what you just said is that you think it's just a formality and it's going to happen, because I don't know whether that's true. If it is, fine. But so what if they come back and still don't, because they've seemed like they haven't wanted to let this happen. Do you think it's fundamentally different now because it's BlackRock and Fidelity and some big names? So you think it's just a matter of time and it's a formality. So it's going to happen. That's going to be huge if it happens.
Well, look, again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't think anyone does. But BlackRock's got a 575-1 record in terms of these ETF applications. And so whenever you see something like that, it is BlackRock, et cetera, they probably have a very high degree of confidence that this is going to get approved. Now, does that mean it's going to get approved next week or in a year? I'm not sure. But I think that most people have confidence that a Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved at some point. And the real question is, once that happens, how big will it get, right? We saw the futures ETF had about $1 billion of inflow in the first week. And so if a spot ETF gets approved, will we see $1 billion in a single day? It seems pretty crazy to me that we've gotten this far, $600 billion in the Bitcoin asset without a spot ETF in the United States. And so when it happens, I do think that a lot of people will pour capital into it. And there's just too many people who want exposure to this product for us to never get it.
You never know. Yeah, that could some things top out when it's bought on the rumor and sell on the news. But Bitcoin has held up, 85%, as you point out, at the same time that all these headlines were hitting about SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, about all, CZ, all these things were hitting. And it almost was as if, yeah, those are ancillary. We're talking about the asset itself. We're not talking about the people handling the asset. It's almost like it's strengthened, 85%, but it's still down from 65,000, as people point out.
Of course. And I think that, Bitcoin is anti-fragile, right? And the reason why that's important is if you look at the start of the year, NASDAQ's up about 32%. It's the fastest start in the first 6 months of a year since about 1983. Bitcoin is up almost triple that. And so to talk about the performance of this asset to be up, 85%, and it almost seems like no one's paying attention. Yes, it is down still, but I think that what we have to realize is that the underlying fundamentals of Bitcoin continue to strengthen as well. We see hash rate hitting all-time highs. We see adoption hitting all-time highs. We continue to see all of these different data points that we know feed into the price leading into the halving that's going to occur next year. And so again, we've talked about it on this program for years now that Bitcoin as an asset, it's not controlled by anyone. There are millions and millions of people around the world that continue to adopt it. The public narrative sometimes is bullish, sometimes it's bearish. There's greed and there's fear. But ultimately, Bitcoin continues to do exactly what it's designed to do. It produces block after block after block of transactions. Anyone in the world with an internet connection can go ahead and use it. And therefore, we're watching around the world, people are realizing the value of that, and they're putting all sorts of capital into the network, and we're watching the performance kind of follow.